Gay did not relate only to Presbyterians from that position. He related to the other predominantly white denominations and also to black denominations. He probably became the most respected Presbyterian. He was the name they all knew, and Gay was someone whose word could be trusted. I don't know that anyone who's not an African American could really understand that. You have to have known oppression yourself. You have to have been a victim of being denied entry in all sorts of places. To be traveling across the South with a pregnant wife who was refused use of a decent bathroom, restroom. And I think Gay was able to understand that, and at the same time to try to bridge the chasm between people who were victimized by that experience and people who were denying that it happened.
Gay Wilmore was passionate about justice and equality. That would be the one thing I think everyone would want to know, and that we should be grounded in the history of understanding that, not just the history, but the scriptural, biblical history, understanding that the Holy Spirit is on the side of the poor.
It's certainly the longest lasting and most robust kind of response to those reparations demands, I think, and has made a major difference in a lot of black communities and other impoverished communities. We can really credit Wilmore for coming up with the idea of a discipline of black theology around 1968 or so. He was a part of this group of black ministers who were working on these kind of ideas, and he has the oldest published use of the term black theology.
That book helped us see that there was a transformational presence of black Presbyterians throughout the historical life of the Presbyterian Church in the more contemporary age, the latter half of the 20th century. It was also influential for me because I grew up Baptist, and it helped me learn about a legacy that I was grafted into.
It says something about the man that he chose to finish his teaching career here in Atlanta at Interdenominational Theological Center. I think it says that's where he found home. I think black seminarians were the ones who were reading his and being asked to use his work. And I think he really had reached a point where he wasn't fighting any more battles. You know, he didn't have to prove anything to anyone.
I think toward the end, he wondered whether the church had forgotten him, whether he was, not taken seriously. So he's not quite sure the church really recognized him.
Gay was not a maneuver. He strategized about how to accomplish something. but he didn't strategize how to hinder you or me. It was more likely to be enabling. He was a humble person.
There's also the sense that some of the most important things that he did in the center of his career were this work on reparations and black power in the church, which the church then sort of took a hard right turn in the 70s and 80s and was as a whole sort of embarrassed about those kinds of things and didn't really want to deal with racial justice anymore, when it really could have celebrated those kinds of courageous acts by the church. And so I think there was a moment there when people kind of stopped wanting to talk about some of the greatest things that he was involved in.
We talked about our faith, and we talked about our family. In the words of one of Mahalia Jackson's songs, my soul looked back and wondered how I got over. We talked about whence we had come, the obstacles and the opportunities, and that what had sustained us most was our faith and our hope, realizing that in the absence of hope, there's despair. I think he hoped for what he could not see, had not seen. I think he hoped that that which he had professed for much of his life would prove to be a reality. And I think he hoped for another life. I just thank God that we were able to share part of our life with each other.